everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the NREP Daily right here on the National Real Estate Post. Once again, weekly with Kimber White from the National Association of Mortgage Brokers. We got some interesting things to talk about today. And if you're an originator, this is, this is a good show to really engage on the comments down below for everybody to just start talking about this because it's a problem. And I'll tee it off, Kimber. We started a conversation before we hit the record button on the show, and I was telling a man, over at the National Real Estate Post, obviously we do help place loan officers here and there, who feel like they have to move. So I probably talk to them maybe 2 or 3 a day, and I have the ability to look up, the production of any loan officer in the NMLS. I mean, I can see the production. And so when we're talking, I'm looking at that. And the thing that really just still blows my mind is the purchase to refi ratios that are out there still that are, and this isn't everybody. In fact, Kimber, you're a perfect example of doing it the right way. And we can talk about your numbers and your ratio, but there's so many guys out there that are still like, the industry would tell you it's, 70-30, 70 refi, 30 purchase. But I'm not seeing that out of a lot of the guys that I'm talking to. I'm seeing kind of like 90-10. That's what I'm kind of seeing. It's very, very heavily on the refi side still. And here's my concern, and then we can pass it over to you, Kimber. But here's my concern is that I think that what a lot of originators done, you're talking to me and Kimber, right? Hey, look, I got into the industry in January of 1987. Probably I was in the industry before a lot of people watching this were even born. Okay.
Same year.
Yeah. Right. So we've been doing this a long time. So we've seen these things happen. We know what happens. Right. And when you're in these refi booms, and this has been a very extended refi booms, and when they're extended, it makes you feel even more and more confident that, oh, this is just how it is. You know what I mean? Because when it's really going on for a long time, it's like, this is the mortgage business, right? And, but what ends up happening is that, okay, if rates as they're projected, go up into the threes, mid threes or something like that, that refi business, of course we know, and I know we sound like a broken record, but hear me out on this, because I don't think you understand where I'm going with this. But that refinance business is going to taper down. And so as originators, our natural default at that point is okay, it's getting to the point now where I'm not making the money I was making. I've kind of now got a lifestyle that revolved around that. I need to go get some more business. So the natural default is I'm going to go chase those real estate agents again, right? I'm going to go back out there and really work the purchase side of things. But here's your big fat problem is this market is the most unique market I've ever seen. Because understand this, guys, there's no inventory, right? There's no houses. So even though if you go back into the real estate side, hey man, and you're working a bunch of pre-approvals, and they're going to be making offers and fighting over, there's going to be 15 offers on these houses, and the chances of yours being the one that gets accepted, it's pretty slim, especially if they're a first-time home buyer. If they're a first-time home buyer, forget it. That ain't going to happen because somebody's going to be willing to pay above appraised value, above sales price, and even pay above appraised value if they have to. And first-time home buyers can't do that. And so my question is, what is everybody thinking? I mean, if your plan is, I'm just going to go into the real estate side, they ain't got nothing for you. I don't know what you're thinking. You're not going to be able to supplement. So is it time to pivot, Kimber?
Well, I think it's time to pivot. And I think that if that has been your model is to do an 80, 90, 100% refinance, you're going to find yourself lost, as you just said. 33 years for me, 33 years for you. We've been here. I've been that person. We all have to get caught up. And I call it the hurricane of the mantra and how excited it is. One thing I'm going to say is I'm seeing now more and more business coming to me from realtors I've never talked to. And do you know why? Joe, who used to be their mortgage broker, is not paying attention to them and getting their purchase business closed. He or she is too busy with their refinance business and not taking care of, I call it, their meat and potatoes. And it's time to pivot. It's time to start looking at it. It's time for the market to understand it's changing. We're starting to see the tick up. We're starting to see things happening. I would say by the end, it's going to be a good year, but I think by the end of the year, the refinance boom is going to be over because we're going to be ticked up to probably, I would think 3% in an interest rate. I think we're going to see that. I really do in a 30-year. We already started to see a tick up. And I think when that happens, What are you doing? I mean, I'm keeping about a 65% refinance, purchase to refinance over the life, because I know, keep with your real estate clients, start marketing, make sure you have the marketing materials, make sure you have what needs to be done, make sure you're out in front of these people, because if you're not, when it's time to pivot, there's no inventory, and those realtors have said goodbye to you, and they've gone somewhere else because they've gone to the person who's, and that also makes sure that you have a lending partner. I get more loans right now from realtors and from referral business because I'm closing my loans on time. I hear more and more and more about, hi, I used to use so-and-so, but now his company can't close my loan for 45 to 60 days as a purchase contract, or 90 days, and we're missing our closing dates. That is something you have to make sure that you're partnering with, and you make that clear up front. It's an entire process, but it's time to pivot. It's time to pivot now on that purchase business. It's time to make sure you know your clientele and not to ride the wave, because the wave's going to end. And more, when that wave ends, you're going to be left with, instead of, oh, I'm dropping my 30%, which I can adjust for, I'm dropping 80%.
Right.
So how do I make business? How do I live? And don't make the mistake, and I know everyone says, oh, whatever. Don't make the mistake of buying the Ferrari and realizing that in a year from now, you can't even afford the Ford Focus. You know, because it's got to be, I call it balance, and there has to be a balance. And those of us that's been longevity in here have learned from our mistakes, and we understand it's longevity, but I'm seeing the pivot needs to start on this part.
Okay, and I agree, and I know there's I'm sure there's many of you out there who are sitting back going, hey, I'm a 50-50, I'm a 60-40, congratulations to you and great work.
Yep.
and awesome, but for those who are not, we're just saying now is the time to pivot. And I'm also bringing up, we've brought this up before in other shows, like we've entered into, we're about to release the ability for originators to do commercial lending, right? To do commercial loans. Don't even have to know how to do them, but we're going to teach you how to go find those referrals. I'm just saying it may be the time to look for another avenue. You know what I mean? Another avenue, not just the realtors, because their inventory is so low.
Right.
That's going to be a tough climb when you start making that pivot and that transition. So be on the lookout. Like for us, we've got this commercial thing coming out very soon, probably next week. But something like that might be in order so that you can work another angle, you know what I mean, to supplement for that. And, you know, we're already going a little bit long, and I know we're not giving real solutions here. I don't know if there are real solutions except for what Kimber said, which is pivot. If you're normally working with 5 or 6 realtors that are your buddies, you might need to increase that to 10 or 15 now as best you can over the next few months, just because there's so little inventory. You're gonna have to have more partners that you're working with to try and supplement that kind of stuff. But the other thing we want to touch base on, I know we sound like a broken record on this too, is just something to look out for, guys, is just the regulation that we believe is going to be coming down. And I'm not trying to be a doom and gloom guy today. I'm not. I just want to say, let's start thinking about it, man. It's time to kind of shake it off and kind of go, okay, I need to start planning. I do need to start planning. This is good advice. And I need to be careful about what we're doing going forward because of the regulation that we think is probably coming down. You want to elaborate on that a little bit, Kimber?
Yeah, already, you know, it was already announced that the CFPB is going back, and they're going to start looking at cases from 2020, that Trump on discrimination and on unfair housing and discrimination in housing. That's coming down. We need to make sure that we're careful on those housing as far as discrimination and impact on that. We've got to be careful. The fact is, we're the low-hanging fruit. CFPB is coming after enforcement. The acting director has already said that. You know, the CFPB has already said, and you saw that, oh, well, we think that the 43% cap needs to stay. You know, and now we've got that to fight as an industry. So we've got to make sure that, you know, we all get not sloppy, but we all make mistakes, and we all do things and don't cross our T's and dot our I's. It happens. It's the industry when you're busy. Compliance is going to be very important. Compliance is going to be needed. You need to make sure you're doing that. This is why at NAMB, we've started with NAMB that starts next month. And it's going to have courses on a loan officer, how to be a loan officer, master classes on on how to run your business, how to market. What you just said, taking it back to the loan officer, it's not all about your realtors. It's your referral network that you have also, and you need to make sure you know how to do or have a referral network, and you reach out, and you expand yourself on products that aren't available to people that you've got. Commercials are a great one. These are the things, but as far as compliance is concerned, it's back. The word, the evil, nasty word is back. The 4 years of, it's kind of been hands off. It's not. You're back to where you were prior to the administration, and a lot of it's going to be tight. It's going to be enforcement, and we need to make sure that we're compliant. That's the reason we're at NAMB. We're making sure you have those abilities, and we have what you need to do it if you're a NAMB member.
And I just want to dovetail off that, and we'll wrap this up and close it out. But, both Kimber and I have done a couple of shows on this. I've done a show on it personally. Me and Brian have done a show on this matter of the racial inequality being a big focus of the administration. And this is definitely going to be in housing, like making sure that we're lending to underserved communities and people of color. And I'm getting feedback from viewers like mad at me, like, and I'm like, don't shoot the messenger. Look, here's the thing. I know you're not actively discriminating. I understand you are not. No, I'm not accusing anyone in the mortgage industry of discriminating at all. You're not. I mean, a loan comes in. If it fits the guidelines, who cares what color a person is? We're just going to do the deal. That's the way it is, and that's the way it should be. I'm just saying that going forward, I think the administration is going to be looking at, I understand you're not actively discriminating on your active pipeline, but what are you doing to go find more people of color? What are you doing to go find more underserved communities? That's what I'm saying. So if you guys can start looking at ways to be creative, and this will be actually cool for you, is let's create programs. We're actually trying to go out and find the underserved. We're actually trying to go out and find people of color to offer them financing. I think if you're doing that and CFPB comes around, looking to do some kind of an audit or something like that, I think you're going to be in a lot better position. That's all we're saying, right? I think people were getting mad at me saying like I'm accusing people of discriminating. I'm not. I know you're not doing that. I'm just saying it's a different administration with a different focus.
In the end, you need to expand on your horizons and look out of I call it your vanilla box. You're not discriminating because people come to you, but look at it, go actively. And it's also going to be, I'm going to close with this myself, it's an opportunity because we've already had the Senate bill that's dropped for more money for this type of housing. We already know that whether you like it or you don't like it, we're not going to go down the road. The president wants a $15,000 first-time home buyer, $7,500. The CFPB is doing education for minority enhancement. Capitalize on it, do your job, go out there make that extra mile, and understand it's not always about, hey, I don't discriminate, I'll do anyone's loan. It's about what am I doing to help the community to go out there and bring it back into the community.
There you go.
That is what they're asking us to do. How can we help the community?
That's where it's at, and I hope that made sense this time around. I hope the comments we get are a little more lined up, what I would say properly, based on what's being said. So anyway, hey guys, I'm going to put the NAMB logo down below. You can click there, get to NAMB, join NAMB. It's like $120 a year, and they do so much for everybody. I don't care if you're a broker or whatever. You're in the mortgage industry, hell, even in the real estate industry, become a NAMB member because they're just out there trying to, fight for all of us in the industry and make sure that we're operating properly and work with these agencies to, be in harmony with them, with the things that they want us to do. So just click the banner down below, or the logo, I should say, down below, and that would be great. And leave us your comments, of course. I think this is a good show for engagement, healthy engagement on the things that we brought up, if you're capable of doing that. So anyway, Kimber, thanks so much for being here again.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, you guys, do us a favor, subscribe for free if you're meeting us for the first time in the upper right-hand corner. Again, leave the comments down below and share this if you feel inclined to. We'll catch you later here at the NRP Daily on the National Real Estate Post. See ya.